A gunman shot 4 people, killing 2 in College Station.
That shootout between officers and a man they were trying to evict still reverberating in the community this morning.
Now, amateur video we received in the last few hours captures the scene from a couple blocks away. Listen.
They're shooting out here. Babe, get down. They're shooting for real. That cop is right under that cop car. Get in, baby. Get in. Get in. Get in the house.
Now later, College Station police identified the gunman as Thomas Caffall, the shooter who took the lives of a Brazos County constable and a 43-year-old man.
We're going to have more on that shooter just ahead right here. But first, we wanted to know what happened yesterday afternoon and how College Station is responding to that. Shannon Wolfson joining us live in College Station this morning with more on that. Good morning.
Good morning. I want to start off this morning by showing you what's going on here at the home where this all took place. You can see police still have that home cordoned off with crime scene tape. This is still a very active investigation and active crime scene here this morning. Now, going back to yesterday, neighbors say that gunfire lasted for about 30 minutes near the Texas A&M campus in this neighborhood, and it all stemmed from an eviction notice. Constable Brian Bachman was serving the notice at this home where Thomas Caffall was living. He was renting this home, and that is when the first shots were fired. When police arrived, Bachman was lying in the yard, and neighbors say a full-fledged shootout started. By the time it was done, Bachman and Caffall were both dead, along with another man. Neighbors talked to us about just how dangerous it was to be in the neighborhood at the time.
And I heard 2 bullets go whiz right by my room, and my bed's right against the window, so I kind of just threw myself out of bed. I probably should get away from my window.
It was probably 30 or 35 minutes, you know, and first it was just 1 or 2 shots, and then that was when the automatic fire started. It was maybe 20 minutes into it.
Well, as we mentioned, officers spent the rest of the day and the night looking over the area where those shell casings were spread across 2 streets. And as we mentioned, you can still see that they are investigating this morning, keeping things very, very cordoned off here in this area, in this neighborhood. This has obviously impacted this community deeply. Churches across the area held prayer services last night for the 4 people who were shot. 2 of them died. And as we mentioned, really hitting home for the law enforcement community here when Constable Brian Bachman was killed.
Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted.
Searching for comfort, a weary College Station community filled pews in churches all over town Monday night. Their prayers for the family of beloved Brazos County Constable Brian Bachman.
Today is a very sad, sad day for Brazos County. We've lost a good man. Brian was not only a good man, he was a great father, a great husband, and a good peace officer.
Brazos County Sheriff Chris Kirk worked with Bachman for 18 years at the sheriff's office before he became constable last year.
He was really proud to be doing what he was doing, and his wife, one of the first words that she shared with me was that he was doing what he loved to do, and that's so very true.
His friends say Bachman loved his job and was supremely devoted to his family, wife Donna, 14-year-old Colby, and 9-year-old Caitlin, children who will grow up without a father who died just doing his job.
I don't know anything about the investigation at this point other than the fact that Brian went to do his job and he was gunned down for doing that. It's a tragic, tragic situation, and we're just devastated.
While a community mourns what appears to be a senseless act of violence, Sheriff Kirk is grieving for a friend.
Brian was a very good friend of mine, and I worked with him to get elected Constable Precinct 1, and had hoped that he would take my place when I retired. Brian not only was a good father and a good husband, he was a Christian man. And so we know where he's going, and we'll join him there some days.
Well, we have also learned the name of the second victim, 43-year-old Chris Northcliffe, also a father of two, we're told. A 55-year-old woman was also shot. She is in critical condition this morning at a local hospital. College Station police officer Justin Olkey was shot in the leg. He is in stable condition at the hospital. Two other officers with minor injuries were released yesterday afternoon from the hospital, so that is very good news. Back live here at the scene in College Station, we are expecting a briefing from law enforcement about 10 o'clock this morning, hoping to learn more about this investigation and the motive behind the shooting, as well as an update to the conditions of some of those victims. So we will bring that to you when it comes into us. We are live in College Station this morning. Robert, back to you.
All right, Shannon Wolfson in College Station this morning. Now, police there identified the suspected gunman again. They say Thomas Caffall was the shooter who took the lives of Constable Bachman and a 43-year-old man. Caffall himself was fatally shot in the ensuing gunfight. Now, Angie Bevan joins us this morning from the newsroom with more on who the suspected shooter was. Angie, good morning to you.
Good morning. We do continue to learn more about the man that police say fatally shot two people, including the constable and also the civilian. But finding more insight into why the shooter, identified as Thomas Caffall, opened fire is difficult for police, as Caffall himself was then shot and killed when police returned fire.
It is a tragedy. Our thoughts and prayers go out to those involved, the families of those involved, and we will do our best to conduct a very thorough and accurate investigation to try and determine exactly why this occurred and provide some answers to the public.
We have learned more about Caffall's background. The 35-year-old was from Bryan. We checked with state court records, and he doesn't have much of a record to speak of. In 2006, he was arrested for driving while his license was invalid. We did get a look at his Facebook page, and there were some pictures of firearms he posted. We don't know if any of those were involved in yesterday's shooting. Some of the most recent activity included him answering questions from people on his friends list as to whether he wanted to remain their friend. Family and friends knew Thomas Caffall as Trace, and a statement sent by the attorney representing his family had this to say: "Our family was shocked and devastated by the tragedy this afternoon. Our thoughts and prayers go to the families of the deceased and the wounded victims. We mourn them and the loss of Trace. He had been ill. It breaks our hearts his illness led to this." The family went on to say, quote, "Please respect our privacy and our grief," end quote. Live in the newsroom, Angie Bevan, KXAN News.
All right, Angie, thanks. And we wanted to show you now, too, how Texas A&M reacted to word of the shooting.
It happened on Fidelity Street, just blocks away from the A&M campus, around 12:15 yesterday afternoon. College Station police responded to reports of shots fired near campus. At 12:29, Texas A&M issued its first alert, called Code Maroon, warning students, parents, and staff about an active shooter in the area. Minutes later, the university sends out a location update. 12:44, another update. The shooter is in custody, but the university warns everyone, stay clear of the area.